Hi, how are you? My name is Jon Urdal, and this is my channel on cultural aspects of continuous improvement. Today we are moving into some very interesting principles that constitutes continuous improvement, or culture and continuous improvement, CCI for short. And these 5 principles they have meant so much to me personally in my work that I want to share it with you, because by focusing on those principles you can really achieve a lot. Okay, I would like you to subscribe to my channel and also click on the notification symbol. Please do that, and you will be notified whenever I publish a new episode on this channel. I will roughly do that once, maybe twice a month, and this is the 2nd episode on this channel. First of all, I have to say something that I have found myself and really understood over the years, the importance of the following. If you obtain a great culture and you at the same time are able to work with continuous improvement, you get an unbeatable team. So great culture and continuous improvement gives you an unbeatable team. You never have to look back again. So that is the foundation of everything, that finding, and I will refer to that in practical examples as we follow up on new episodes on this channel. Okay, in our first episode in January we discussed what is CCI, how can it be defined, how can you define cultural aspects of continuous improvement, and we agreed upon the following. Within an organization, culture of continuous improvement can be defined as a deeply shared mindset of visions, values, expectations, insights, beliefs and will, enabling the organization to systematically and continuously develop, change and adapt what it does and how it does it to fit what customers value. So this is the core definition of CCI, and by studying that a bit you will find that it encapsulates a lot of what needs to be done if you want to go the road into creating great cultures and continuous improvement. So I mentioned these 5 principles, and I said that there are 5 of them, and where do they come from? Well, actually I read a book, a very famous book published in 1996 by Womack and Jones. It's called Lean Thinking, and I was overwhelmed when I read about these 5 principles, how simple they are, how effective they can be, and how great it is to take those 5 principles into account when you try to strive for CCI. So I want to share those 5 principles with you now and discuss each of them in a little detail, and in the future episodes I plan to give quite simple and complex examples of improvement work based on these 5 principles. It has proven useful in service providers, in public sector, in health services, and in a lot of industrial settings as well. So these 5 principles are not tied to any specific application. They can be used wherever and whatever you are doing. So what are they? Let's find out. But first, let's get a couple of important definitions straight. First of all, when we think about improving things and have a great culture, we do it for a purpose. Well, we deliver something for the customers, and then we are speaking about customer value. So what is actually customer value? Well, a very common definition of customer value is the difference between what the customer gets from a product or service and what he or she has to give in order to get it. So that is a very good definition of what customer value is, and that is of course core to everything we do. The other definition is what is a value stream, because a value stream, that's a notion that I will get into a lot of times, because everything has to do with improving the value stream. It's creating flow in the value stream. So a value stream is a sequence of activities required to design, produce and provide a specific good or service, and along which information, materials and worth flows. So value stream is important. That's where the action happens, and the sequence of what is done and all the information and interactions that go with it. Yeah, so then we have come to the point where these 5 principles should be explained, and the very classical way of explaining it is to draw a circle and divide it into pieces of cakes. Five in total here, and you see that there are 5 different principles laid out. The first one is identify customers and what they value. The second one is to map the value stream, create the value stream. The third one is to create flow, have flow in your value stream. The fourth one is to establish pull, and the fifth is a constant search for perfection. So with these 5 principles in mind, let's go into each of them in a little detail. Identify customers and value. It's actually 2 things here. You have to identify your customers, of course, know who are they and what creates them customers. What do the customers value about what you are doing? What kind of services and products are they value? So if you do not know what the customers value, then how can you improve? It's impossible to improve if you do not have any notion of what your customers are or what they value. So you have to have a value proposition reflecting these needs, and these needs in the value proposition has to be specific and precise and mirror exactly what your customers value. So this exercise could be done together with the customers, of course. It should be, and in order to describe in as detailed way as possible what customers value about what you are delivering and what changes you probably must do as well. The second one is to map the value chain or the value stream. And the value stream, that is the sequence of activities required to design, produce, provide a specific good or service, and along which information, materials and worth are flowing. So this is core. This is really core. The value stream must be drawn, and the very typical and fun way to do it is to involve all your colleagues into a room with a drawing board and start specifying the sequence of activities, because you will always learn by that. And so the end result of mapping the value stream is to have a very precise description of how you do things in best possible way. The third principle is to create flow. And to create flow means that whatever you produce or whatever you deliver, services and so on, you should do that in an uninterrupted flow. Flow is an extremely important part of continuous improvement. The activities, the information, the materials and other input must flow uninterrupted. So the idea is to continuously strive to make the flow of whatever you provide to your customers as smooth as possible. So that's creating flow. The fourth one is quite complex actually, and you can see that different people put different meanings into it. But the classical understanding of pull is to adapt what you do to the demand further down in the chain, or to match the customer demand. Pull is a notion that you can improve on, but it will seldom be perfect, but it can only be better. And by being better, you get better, and you are doing things more precisely and much better than you did before. Some experts also bring other aspects into the notion of pull, and that I will touch upon in later episodes. But for the time being, establishing pull means to create whatever you do in accordance with the demand. The fifth and last is to seek perfection. And by seeking perfection, it means that you are hunting for the perfect state of your business. That doesn't mean that you at some time will reach that state, because almost by definition it's impossible to be perfect in any business. Perfection could mean perfect value with no waste. Perfection could also mean providing customers with a safe product or service in the right quantity, on time, in the right volume, at an affordable price. Perfection is what we strive for, and perfection is a journey without an end. So you can see perfection is really continuous improvement. You strive to get better, you involve your organization in improvements, you involve maybe your customers as well, and you end up by being better for every day. And that's the whole concept of CCI, in fact. So one thing you could ask yourself is, do you have to do these 5 principles in a step-by-step fashion? Or can you pick and choose? Well, if the value chain you define is quite new, you are establishing something from scratch, then you of course have to follow these 5 principles in sequence. You have to know what your potential customers are. You got to have an idea of what they value about what you are about to produce. Or if you invest in something new, or the market changes, that kind of aspects, then you will need to adapt maybe all 5 principles to new situations that occur. But in other settings, when what you are doing is quite mature, you can go into creating flow, for example, step 3 right away, and do whatever is needed to create a perfect flow in your value chain, because the value stream is already written. It's the best you can do for the moment, and then the job is to create flow within that value stream, for example. Or you can maybe in step 5, you constantly strive to do details better. So you can pick or choose these steps, or you can do them in sequence. It depends on the situation of your business. So, but it may also be a spiral actually, because when things happen, you have to redefine things. You have to create new content to each step, and then you get sort of a spiral. And if you do products, several different types, very different types of products, and also different sets of services, then you may have several spirals going on at the same time. But all these spirals are actually consisting of these 5 principles. By focusing on them, you have sort of a guarantee that you improve all the time. So now that we have covered these aspects, we are ready to fill content into it, to bring in examples. I will show you several examples that are adapted to each of these steps, so that you can understand how to use these when you are doing applications. So I will, in the next episodes to come, I will give you hands-on practical approaches based on these 5 principles. And next time we will start up with doing sequence of steps, creating flow, and using these 5 principles in order to do a specific application as an example. So with that in mind, please subscribe to my channel and click on notifications, and I see you soon. Stay tuned. Bye.